Hey guys, Samuel to Geek. Long time no see. And if you read the title, some of you might be shocked. But yeah, I've sold most of my video games. Um, I have had a lot of life changes since I stopped making videos on video games. And I've moved around a lot, and things have changed. And I thought I'd make this video just to kind of reflect on that and see how you guys are. It's been a long time since I created this YouTube channel. I created Samuel to Geek back in 2007, 19 years ago. My YouTube channel is past the age of a legal adult. It's so hard to believe how quickly time flies that I was creating videos on this account when I was 15 or 16 years old. Now I'm 34. I did keep some games for nostalgic purposes. I have two here I'd like to highlight. One is Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. You might think, why the hell did you keep that game? Well, this is my first video game ever. This is the first video game I ever owned. So I used to play the Nintendo 64 at my babysitter Kathy's house. And, I loved it. I played with her sons, had a grand time. The biggest reason I chose the Nintendo 64 over the PlayStation is because of the 4-player co-op games that we would play on the 64 at my babysitter's house. And when my mom finally bought me a Nintendo 64, it was the bundle that came with Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. So this was the first video game I ever owned. And my parents didn't like spending that much money, so this was the only game I had for quite a while. And I have a lot of fond memories of playing my brother in beating him at this game. So Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, it's not the best game in the world, but it has a lot of history with me. It's my first ever video game. So there's a lot of sentimental value there. The other one is Resident Evil 5. Now, Resident Evil 5 is interesting. This copy is signed by the original creator of Resident Evil when I went to Comic-Con in 2009. And then Slasher Thrasher, my friend and former fellow freezecracker, he won a Resident Evil 5 video contest to get mentioned in the instruction manual. And when I met him at Comic-Con, he also signed the instruction manual. We're still friends on Facebook. We're not as close as we used to be, but Resident Evil 5 kind of captures a very unique time period in my life. It was when I was really hitting the stride on YouTube, right before I got hacked and all that crazy stuff happened. I was going to Comic-Con. Resident Evil 5 had just come out, and it was kind of a controversial and interesting video game. One of my friends, had a small part in it. So this is just one of the games that has a lot of sentimental value to me because I honestly really, really liked Resident Evil 5, even though a lot of people hated on it at the time. I had a lot of fun with it. So those are two of the games that I capped because they had a lot of sentimental value. And you might be asking, why did you sell most of your video games? The reality is, I don't even have time to play video games anymore. I really don't. I work a couple of jobs. I'm married now, and I'm having a kid coming on the way. And the reality is, how likely is it that I will ever plug in my Xbox 360 ever again and fire it up? Because, I went and looked at the time that I've done that since 2014, and the answer is 0. I'm never going to do it again. I'm never going to hook up the Xbox 360 again. And I'm never going to play those games again. So having them sit in my parents' house was bothering me. For those of you that haven't kept up with my personal life, my mother passed away. She got cancer, and it's been a very rough year because of that. And it made me realize a lot about my own life. And one of those things is that you can't hold on to the past forever. And that your time should be focused on the people you love rather than the things that you own. And, I always believed that. But death has a certain way of basically showing you that, because often you get caught up in the day-to-day nonsense. You get caught up in the job. You get caught up in keeping up with the Joneses and stuff like that, And you really lose track that most things are not worth keeping. Like, especially as you get older, you realize a lot of the stuff that you accumulate is trash. Especially if you move, because moving that stuff is not fun. And I've realized having like 200 some Xbox 360 games, 80 something PS3 games that are so old that you'll never touch again. Like, I had to do an evaluation on my gaming. The reality is that I barely even touched my Xbox Series X. I played a couple of games. I'm playing Pragmata right now, but honestly, it's collecting dust because I just don't have time to play it. The vast majority of games I play on this phone that I'm recording on, and it's Call of Duty Mobile, Pokemon Go. Like, those are the games I'm playing. I've become the casual gamer that we all used to make fun of. And I have a lot more respect for those people nowadays, because I think a lot of it wasn't that they couldn't be into some of these more serious games. It's because they didn't have time for them. And becoming more of an adult and reflecting on that really puts a lot of that stuff into perspective from that time period. I have a lot more respect for those people who played Wii and DS and had, a lot of those fun with those simple games. Those simple games were appealing because they were easy to pick up, play, put down. And when you live a very, very busy lifestyle, that's a lot more appealing. So I think that growing up has a way of humbling you. And I wanted to reach out because I know a lot of people thought the same way I did back in the day. Has growing up changed your mind on a lot of the things that we used to talk about when we were basically teenagers and people in our early 20s? Because being 34, about to turn 35 in October, it's shifted my mind a lot. Well, till we meet again, I would love to talk to you in the comments. Thank you. God bless.